I came home one night earlier than anyone expected, loosened my tie, and as I walked down the hall, I heard whispers coming from my boys' room. I pushed the door open and froze. There was Grace, the maid I'd hired just 6 months ago, kneeling by their bed, hands folded with my twins Max and Leo. She was guiding them through a prayer, asking God to tell their mother they loved her. My wife had been gone for years, and just hearing those words cracked something open in me I wasn't ready for. Instead of listening, anger took over. I slammed the book she was holding, accused her of brainwashing my kids, and fired her on the spot. The boys cried, begged me not to, but pride made me deaf. She left without a fight the next morning, just a shoebox on the counter, filled with their drawings, and a note saying she never meant disrespect, only comfort. I ignored it, poured a drink, told myself I was doing the right thing, but the silence in that house told me otherwise. The twins changed almost overnight. Max, who was always full of energy, picked fights at school. Leo barely spoke at all. At the dinner table, they looked at me like I was a stranger, and I hated admitting the truth. But it wasn't Grace they were scared of, it was me. You know what I mean? When kids look at you like you're the villain in their story, it cuts deeper than any insult. So I tried something different. Burned pancakes that filled the kitchen with smoke, bedtime stories, where I stumbled over words, awkward conversations that slowly turned into laughter. And one night, I overheard them whispering again, talking to their mom like she was still listening. Grace had told them love was louder than ears. My throat tightened. For the first time, I whispered back through the crack of the door, I miss her too. They looked at me eyes wide, then smiled. That tiny moment changed everything. I knew I had to swallow my pride, so I called Grace. My voice shook more than I wanted, told her I was wrong. Told her she gave my boys something I couldn't. She paused, then said she'd think about it. 3 days later, she walked back in, and the twins nearly tackled her. I stood there ashamed and grateful all at once. I told her the truth that I thought discipline was enough, but she'd given them hope. She just smiled and said, "Love doesn't make you weak, it makes you whole." Yeah, that hit me hard. From then on, the house felt alive again. We prayed together not out of ritual, but out of peace. We laughed at burnt dinners, built little traditions, started healing. But peace never comes without a fight. My assistant Claire confronted me one afternoon, saying I was letting the business slip because of that woman. I snapped back, told her if I had to choose between board meetings and being there for my boys, I'd choose them every time. She stormed out, but I didn't care. Then came the letter that nearly broke us. My late wife's sister, Margaret, filed for custody, claimed I was unfit. The boys overheard and panicked, begged me not to let anyone take them away. That courtroom was brutal. Margaret painted me as absent, cold, selfish. I admitted my mistakes, but showed how I'd changed. Grace took the stand and said something that silenced the room. Family isn't just blood. It's who shows up, who loves you without conditions. The judge ruled in our favor, and when the gavel came down, the boys ran into my arms, sobbing with relief. Not long after, Grace found Evelyn's old journal. In it were prayers, half-finished poems, and on one page a line that stopped me cold. If someone kind shows up at your door, don't push her away. It felt like she had known Grace would come into our lives, like she was still guiding us. That night, I told Grace, I don't know what this is yet, but I don't want to face tomorrow without you. She smiled, tears in her eyes, and said, "Tomorrow can wait. Tonight, let's just be family." Since then, the house has been filled with laughter again, holidays with gratitude, new traditions the boys are proud of. Grace even opened a children's center in town, something she'd always dreamed of, and I supported her not out of charity, but because I believed in her. The boys call her family now, and honestly, so do I. Some people still whisper, some say I crossed a line. Others say I finally became human. Maybe both are true. But here's the question I keep coming back to, and I want you to think about it too. What really makes a family? Is it blood money and legacy, or is it the people who stand beside you when life is falling apart? Drop a comment below, tell me if you think I was wrong to bring her back, or if you've seen something like this in your own life. Because in the end, it's not about what the world says, it's about who shows up when it matters most. Word count, 1150, 8 to 10 min at 0.9x speed.